I'm doing just a fishing Q&A on different rigs, baits, just any. If you have any questions about fishing, just ask them in the chat, and I can probably answer. We have one viewer. Shout out to the one viewer. I don't know who it is. Any bait recommendations would also be helpful, but I can also help anybody who's beginning fishing. If you have any questions, just ask them in the chat. If you have any rigs you want to see, I have 2 rods I can rig up over here. If you'd like to see tools, I have a bunch of tools that I use, baits. You want to see my tackle box, that too, just comment in the chat. Here's some of the baits I personally use. Power bait, panfish nibbles, they're pretty good. They get a lot of bites, they just don't stay on the hook for a while. Corn, just whole kernel corn is pretty good. And then the strawberry carp and catfish bait is pretty good too. I've caught a few fish on all of these. Corn being the best probably for carp or catfish. Yeah. So if you're going for carp, catfish, even bluegill will eat corn. It's just probably not as good. So if you'd like to see the rig, do those, I will show it. We have one viewer. If you could say something in the chat so I know you're there. I don't know that. Sorry. Different question. Fishing related questions. If you want. Hi, whoever. PRZ siblings. So, any questions about baits, lures, how to rig them, stuff like that, just talk in the chat. Here's the baits I'm using right now that I have that I can show you. Corn. No, I'm not old enough. Stupid. So, what baits? If you want to see baits or rigs, how to rig them, this is carp strawberry bait. You rig it on the bottom. This, it's magic bait. You can get it at Walmart, Cabela's. It's strawberry flavored. It's little dots. You just put it on a hook. Not Hog Wild. It's magic bait. Strawberry, pre-prepared dough balls. It catches carp and catfish. I have not tried it. I would not try it either. This says not for human consumption, so I wouldn't eat it. If this is anybody's, like, how many times have people been fishing? Like, is this beginners fishing, or just tell me in the chat. Is Hog Wild another bait? I might get it sometime, try it. Not to eat, but for bait. I'm guessing you've eaten it before. I also have these panfish nibbles by Berkeley Power Bait. They're dots again. They're pink. I don't know why baits are always pink. But yeah. These don't really stay on the hook very well. They just fall off and stuff. If you had a treble hook, it'd be better. Eat what? This one? Or this one? I have actually tried our own dough bait that we made. It's let's see. It has strawberry jello, oatmeal, cottonseed meal, and a few other things like that. And it actually doesn't taste bad. It's just kind of bland. Any rigs y'all'd like to see? Or how to catch different fish? Bass, catfish, carp, bluegill, crappie. I know how to catch most of them. Any recommendations for baits that you'd like me to do a video on? I will. This is a rod I'm using right now. It's a 2-foot ice rod. It's pretty good for the smaller catfish and bluegill, maybe carp. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I've only caught like 2 catfish on it. Using corn. Corn's probably the best bait. If you want to catch just anything at a new pond or whatever, use corn. Just throw it out and you'll probably get a bite. If you don't get a bite, just probably move spots. That'll help. I also have a bait caster right here. This is my bigger catfish one. It's also, I can use it for bass, but I mainly use it for catfish. I have a slip sinker right here. Down to a 2-aught circle hook. I caught a 5-pound channel catfish on the 4th of July with that. It was pretty fun. It was difficult. I was using cut bait, which is also a good bait too. Just cut bluegill or shad is pretty good. Just in some places it's not legal. So in Texas it is legal, but other places I'm not sure. Here's the tools I carry with me. I have a Minimalist by CRKT, the cleaver version. I have just a multi-tool and some forceps. I would get some forceps if this is your first time starting fishing. I would get forceps because they're smaller and they fit in more fish's mouth. And if they gut hook them, they're easier to get out with those. Yeah. And then also, here's some of my lures I have. I have some crankbaits. This is a Berkeley Pitbull 5.5. This is just Ozark Shell one, cheap. I have a swim bait right here. I don't remember which one this is. I have 2 Booyah Pond Magic swim bait or center baits. These are pretty good. They're kind of expensive for what they are, but they're pretty good. I have just $1 buzz bait from Walmart. They're good. Thanks for the sub. That's needed. Trying to get to 100 subscribers by Christmas. So, chatterbait. I have 2 of these. I don't know what color this is. Just a darker color, and then a chartreuse and white with I don't know what this is. Curly tail on the back. Some bobbers. right here. I have a bunch of bobbers. Now if you're in another country and you fish a lot, like Europe in that area, you might know what this is, but this is a baiting needle. It's for carp fishing and using a hair rig. You can't really get them anywhere except Amazon. If you live somewhere else, you can probably get them. And then also have some assorted hooks, some number 6 hooks and some number 2 bait holder hooks. You fish for crabs? How do you do that? Never heard of that. But yeah, any thing y'all like to see, just type in the chat what it is, and I can probably show you the stuff for fishing. You also add trailers normally to chatterbaits. This is a fairly new one, so I haven't put a trailer on it yet. But you can put Senkos, crawls, swim baits, anything like that. And then this is my this is just my kind of catfish, carp, stuff like that box. I have more pliers and some scissors. A big bobber, I don't know what size. Some more hooks. And then here's my box. I have some weights, some 2/0 circle hooks, some beads, and some Gamakatsu carp hooks. They're pretty good if you tie them on a hair rig. If y'all want me to tie a hair rig, just type in the chat, and I'll do it. Also, I recommend bringing a towel. This is Cabela's, just towel. For getting slime and worm guts and stuff like that. Worms is also one of the best baits besides corn. The local ones you'll probably find in your backyard, they're just too small and they don't really work. So I'd recommend buying some from like a local bait shop or just Walmart. Walmart sells them too. A net. I also recommend getting a net. Just a simple landing net, because if you catch a big fish and you're on a steeper bank, it's hard to get them up. I have a short catching a catfish, and I use that net because I couldn't have got it up without it. So yeah. Let's see. Recommend bringing a fillet knife if you're fishing for. What is the biggest fish I ever caught? It was a 5-pound catfish on the 4th of July. And then biggest bass I've caught was 2 pounds. Extra spool of fishing line. You should also probably keep that in your bag or whatever you take fishing. You never know, you could backlash or get tangled up. Which a backlash is when the line on the bait caster wraps back, and yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, that's all I have in my bag. This is just some Carolina rig on this rod with the number 2 bait holder hook, swivel, a bead, and a 1/2 ounce egg sinker. This rod's like $12. The line I have is more expensive. It's sprayed, so let's see. What else do I have to show? Good pair of shoes too. That's good. If you're bass fishing and you're walking a lot, a good pair of shoes is probably also needed. Now if you're just sitting and waiting in a chair, that's good. A chair and rod holders are also good. I have some rod holders in my car. So there's this kind of rod holder. This sticks into the ground and you put your rod like this, and it just kind of sits there. These are pretty good. I like the other ones. I don't have any of them, but they're like a coil, and you stick your rod in, and it's just a one piece of wire holding it in the ground. They're pretty good. They're a little more expensive, I think, than those, but they are worth it. Any questions that you'd like to see, or any rigs or baits, or how to rig the baits, or anything like that? One of the best baits I would say for catfish is probably cut bait. Cut bait's good because you can almost catch bluegill anywhere to put on a hook. Shad, I've heard works. I've never had success on shad, and we also don't have shad in the ponds around here or lakes, so I don't really use that much. For bluegill, I say worms is probably the best. Carp, corn, or dough bait, which is a mixture of, you just kind of mix stuff together to make like a dough, and it's pretty good. Let's see. For like trout, I'm not really sure. I don't really fish for trout much, or crappie, but I would say probably just Berkley power bait. The floating stuff for trout is probably pretty good. Yeah. Let's see. This is a Zebco Rome baitcaster. It's like $60 at Cabela's or let's see, Academy. Do academies in other places besides Texas? I'm not sure. Type in the chat if there's academies. I don't know what happened. There we go. I don't know what happened there. My camera just quit working. Yeah, my goal is to get to 100 subscribers by the end of this year. That would really help my channel out a lot to get to 100. And remember, like and share the video so I can get more subscribers. So for this bait right here, the Berkley Nibbles for bluegill, you normally do on a bobber, but you can do it on the bottom too. If you're going after like, let's see, shell cracker or like reddy or sunfish, you can do it on the bottom because they're bottom feeders, unlike bluegill, which are more on the top of the water. For bass are picky. Bass can be anywhere from the top of the water jumping to the bottom cruising just down there looking for bait. So you just have to adapt to what they're using. So like sometimes you can use top water in the morning. I don't really use top water because I never really fish that early in the morning. I mainly use chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, and Senkos. The Texas rig is also really good for bass. They're super cheap. You can get like for under $5, you can get everything to do it. Some of my favorite colors for dirtier water are green pumpkin, black and blue, and probably like a darker blue. And then for more clear water, you would use like white, chartreuse, maybe pink, stuff like that. Bullet weights, I would use anywhere from 3/16 to ½ ounce probably, depending on how deep the water is and how far you have to sling it to get to the structure. Make sure your rod can handle that big of weights because some rods can't. So a baitcaster can go up to 1 ounce of weight. What is my favorite YouTuber? Probably Kendall Gray. He's a pretty good YouTuber. Yes, so braided fishing line is mainly what I use. I have on both of these, I have braid. Braid is more, I don't know, it's just better. It doesn't backlash as easy. It sinks, so it's more, I don't know. Yeah, it's just better, just for whatever you're doing. If you're fishing deeper water with the nibbles, you might want to use a slip bobber rig, like this. These are just Cabela's brand. I don't know what they're called really. Peg floats, that's what they're called. But they have a circle or like a eye through them that you can thread your line through and tie on a stopper knot or bobber stop, which there's different types. And then you just put a split shot, which is the clip-on weights, and a hook below that. And yeah, that'll work pretty good. These bobbers are probably my favorite. Right here, they're clip-on bobbers. You just clip them onto your line on each side. They're cheaper too than the plastic ones, the plastic red and white ones, I think. I'm not sure. I don't really use other ones much. Any rigs you would like to see? Anybody who's watching rigs, or anything like that? Okay, well, I guess not. This is the weights I use. I use these sometimes. These are lead-free weights. I also use homemade weights. These are homemade. My dad made them. Then they're powder coated with blue powder coat. We have tons of sizes, so yeah. And then, so if I was gonna start fishing right now and go fishing, I would probably take this rod, some worms, and some corn. That's probably what I would take. If it's your first time fishing, you don't want to have tons of baits and rigs you want to be switching out. You don't want to be doing that. Tumbleweed, I don't have the tumbleweed. They're out of stock everywhere. I do plan on doing a video on tumbleweed though, soon. I have two types of forceps here. These are curved. These are straight. The curved ones are better for if you're on gut hooking something, like a catfish, a small catfish, because they gut hook. And also, if you're handling catfish, you want to be careful, especially the yellow bullheads, black bullheads, brown bullheads. They'll spine you, and they're actually poisonous. Or not super poisonous, but they are poisonous, and they burn. So you want to put the fins, the dorsal fins on the side, between this finger right here, and then you want to put the other fin right here, and the head right here, and just squeeze them. And that makes it easy to get your pliers in to unhook them. The tumbleweed, you can do it on drop shot. Let's see, Nico rigged. You can't wax rig it because they float. So I don't know. I am gonna do a video on that soon. Let's see. These are size 6 hooks right here. These are Bass Pro Shops brand. It recommends the improved clinch knot right here on the back, which is pretty good knot. So like with this rod right here, it's not supposed to handle big fish, but it can handle big fish. I've caught like a 1 pound catfish on that, using corn. It is it's fun to do it on there because the reel is too big for the rod, kind of. So like the drag tightened or loosened is like still just too much for the rod. You won't snap this rod, like it bends a lot. And then also, so I wouldn't recommend this rod necessarily for beginners. I'd recommend a Zebco Slingshot, which is like $10 at Walmart, because it's push button style. It's easier to cast. It's fairly cheap. It has decent line. You can catch small catfish, bluegill, anything like that on it. Yeah, any baits y'all would like to see me rig up, I can do that. Any rigs you'd like to see, how to fish different lures, stuff like that, just comment in the chat. So yeah, this is a size 2 bait holder hook, which you could use corn or these little dough things, the catfish and carp baits. Slide them on. You just slide like 2 of them on, and yeah, throw it out. And so you gotta watch your rod. I use bells sometimes, but it's probably better just to watch your rod and hold it. I use the Palomar knot or the let's see, Palomar knot, clinch knot, uni knot, all those for different things. The knotless knot, the snailing hooks. Yeah. So yeah, this is what it'll look like. You put 2 dots on. I will put a link in the description of this video when I'm done of the baits I'm using and the rod and the hooks and weights and everything like that. So if y'all want to fish with the same setup as me, you can do that. How do you which knot? I don't know which knot that is you want me to tie. But yeah. Boilies are also another good bait. They're a European carp bait that you can make or buy on Amazon. You can leave a link to a package of those in the description. Yeah. The clinch knot, I guess I can show you how to do the clinch knot. So, I actually need to change this out anyway. I have a super long leader. I don't know why I tied it so this is 20-pound monofilament, just so y'all know. It's pretty strong. I mean, this is what I caught the catfish on, again, in that video. So, yeah. And if any of y'all know why the catfish is deformed in its head, you'll see that in my short video of that catfish. It was deformed. It had knots behind its eyes, and it was really weird. So for the uni knot, you take a loop like this. You make another loop with the tag end like this. And then you wrap this 6 times, 4 to 6 times. And then you're gonna want to wet it. And then tighten it. And yeah, that's pretty strong knot. You can use this on lures and stuff. Just you don't use it with braid; it'll break off pretty easily. I've lost lures, tons of lures doing that. The uni knot with braid. I've lost chatterbaits, which is really annoying because they're expensive. I don't really use crankbaits much, so I don't know. I don't really use them. Yeah, so any other questions? Hi, Bigfoot Guy 48. Any rigs you'd like to see? I can show y'all how to do, I just showed how to do a, how to tie on a hook. I can show how to do a Carolina rig real quick. Yeah, so Carolina rigs are good. You can make like upsize your Carolina rig and use circle hooks for catfish. What you'll need for this one is a #2 bait keeper hook by what's it called, Eagle Claw. Then you'll need a 1/2 ounce egg sinker, a swivel, a snap swivel. I'm pretty sure this is number 9 or number 5. I don't remember. And then some kind of bead. So what you want to do is you want to put your egg sinker onto your main line. Sometimes you have to cut some more off. Then you put your bead on. The bead is to protect your knot, because without the bead, it'll get stuck on the knot when you cast and break your knot and everything like that. So remember to tie that, and then tie your knot. I'm gonna use the improved clinch knot since I'm using braid. I showed you how to do it in my stream yesterday. You wrap it 4 times, put it back through the eye like that, and then back through that loop you just made. That ties on pretty good. And so these swivels that have clips on them, and they just open, and you put your bait keeper hook, bait holder hook, whatever they're called, on there, and then yeah, it'll look like that. So this is, you can use it for catfish, carp, bluegill, anything pretty much. Trout's pretty good on it, probably. I see people use that a lot. So like bass and bluegill, and let's see, trying to think other fish should do that. Minnows and stuff, they stay higher in the water column. Catfish and carp, and trout, they're deeper. They're on the bottom, eating off the bottom. Now trout will come up and eat stuff on the surface like bugs and stuff, but mainly catfish and carp, they're on the bottom. Now when carp are spawning, they're on the top and they're just rolling in the shallow water. It's really gross looking. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Catfish, I've never really seen catfish do that. They just stay at the bottom and yeah, eat little bluegill and stuff like that. If they're smaller, they're probably eating more minnows and shells, stuff like that. My favorite lure, chatterbait, right here. Yeah, these are pretty good. That's the cheap one, not the jackhammer or the Evo. The Evo is more expensive. Yeah. The Goat 565. You do a lot of fishing. Cool. What do you fish for? And what is your favorite lure? Let's see. So, for unhooking bluegill, bass topwater fishing. Yeah, sounds fun. I've never caught one on topwater. It looks fun though. So when unhooking bluegill, hopefully they don't swallow hook because you can't get it out if they swallow it. I mean, you can sometimes get them out, but it's pretty hard. So just grab the bluegill from the front like this, because their back fins on the top of their head, or like on top of them, will spine you. And so just hold them like this and just unhook them. Hopefully it's in the lip or in the mouth somewhere. Bass, pretty easy. You don't really gut hook many, like ever bass, ever, because you just don't. And then normally lip, and then hold the bass, just hold it by the lip, and then if you're taking a picture, hold it by its like back, by its tail, and yeah, just throw it back. I know a lot of people say don't throw fish back. I mean, I don't think it's gonna hurt the fish because they're literally dropped out of planes in some places, so I don't think it's gonna hurt them. Certain fish, maybe like carp, might hurt them because they're more fragile, but Yeah. Thanks. It's helpful. Remember, like and subscribe. Yeah, and share so I can get more subscribers. Thanks for the subscribe. The GOAT 565. Yeah, corn, always good. Corn's cheap. You can get it anywhere. Convenience stores, bait stores, you can get them anywhere. Boiled feed corn, I heard, is good, but I mean, it just is a lot of work. You gotta boil it. Just buy you a can of corn. There's also hominy. It's like corn, it's a little bigger though, and it might be easier to put on your hook and stay together better. I'm not sure. Yeah. Is grasshoppers good? I've never used grasshoppers. I'll try that next time. I'll make a video on it. I mean, it makes sense to eat grasshoppers probably if they fall in water. They make grasshopper lures, like the Rapala, I don't know, grasshopper. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so, swim baits are also pretty good. Just different brands of swim baits are good. I don't remember which one this is, honestly. I don't know what the J-Cat is either. I just found one in my tackle box and rigged it out. It's not the straightest either. But yeah, swim baits are good. Spinners are good. Crankbaits. I've never caught a fish on a crankbait, honestly. I don't fish them enough to even know. Do any of y'all think this is a good color? This is the Berkeley Pitbull 5.5. I don't know what color it is or anything. So if y'all can tell me if this is a good color or not. And then I also have this one. Tell me if it's a good color. I've never fished crankbaits before, so yeah. Cool. I'll try it and see if I can catch one. What about the yellow and orange? Is it good? I bet it is probably. This is a cheap one from Walmart. It's like $3. But if you're fishing really shallow water, like ponds, they're probably not the best because they dive deeper and get snagged, and ponds are just snaggy areas. Now, fishing a bigger lake on a boat that's more than 15 feet, I'll use crankbaits. Jigs are also good. I don't really use jigs much. It's mainly just these lures right here. These three. Spinner baits. You like the neon? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like the chatterbait, the spinner baits, and swim baits. Those seem to be what's working right now for me. Nothing else has really been working. We really weren't catching fish, and we started catching more fish, and then we were not catching fish again also. So I don't know what that is, why it's doing that. Maybe it's because we've had a lot of rain here in Texas, which I know some of y'all know about the floods in East Texas. So yeah. Another good bait for catfish is worms or the stink bait, like the magic bait, but the stinky one. It comes with little nugget things. It's pretty good, I think. You can use it for chum too, just throw it out, and then it would attract the fish. Then there's like, I don't know, what are other baits? Hot dogs. I've never used hot dogs. I've never had luck on them. They just don't seem to really, I don't know, like stay on good enough. I mean, I guess if you freeze them. If you freeze the hot dogs, it might work better. Chicken liver, I think it's pretty good. I went fishing again on 4th of July. I went twice that day, and I was getting bites on chicken liver. Just nothing would ever eat it, take it. So, probably chicken liver is pretty good. Maybe adding Jello or something to it would add more flavor, garlic, something like that. Yeah. Always bring water with you fishing, and sunglasses, a hat, and probably some sunscreen. It gets hot and sunny on the water, so I would always bring that stuff just to make sure you don't get sunburned, and stuff like that. Then boats. I mean, I guess you can use a boat. Sometimes they're, I don't know, better. I have a kayak, as if you watch my channel, you might know. It's a small kayak. One person, barely enough room to have tackle in it. It has rod holders and stuff like that. I've yet to take it out. I just got it like 2 weeks ago. So I haven't really had time to take it out. But so far it's been pretty good. I will do more videos on that because I've added my GoPro mounts and everything to it already, so it's ready to go. Stickers, everything like that. Any kayak recommendations, like things you should have on a kayak? I'm not really that much kayak fishing, so. Okay, well, 3 likes, that's good. Can we get more likes? Let's see if we can get to 10 likes by the end of the stream. I mean, pontoon boats are probably good. I mean, depending where you're fishing. If you're just sitting in one spot fishing all day, yeah, probably. If you're trying to get places fast, bass boat probably. But pontoon boats are good. Especially for like catfish and carp, stuff like that. They're just sitting there, yeah. Bring a net though. If you plan on fishing a lot in a boat, bring a net. Because sometimes boats are higher off the water and you can't get the fish in without snapping line. So yeah. Well, I'm probably about to end the stream. Thank you for everybody who's watched the stream and stick to the end. Thanks for all the subscribes and likes. That's all for today. Thank you.